Good day. We are live on, I think, a few channels, different channels. So I'm Belle at our Joyful Pathways, and join with me is Debbie Duncan.
Hi,
Hello.
everybody. Excited to be
How is,
here.
how is everybody doing? I heard it's
Oh,
really
yeah.
hot in San Diego.
Yes, it is. And we'll be
Everybody,
watching your comments, you guys. So say hello.
yeah, say hello. Hope the evening is slightly, cooler. Mm. All
Right.
right, it's going to be slightly different sharing today. Uh, Basically, I want to introduce the Feng Shui concept. I'm not sure if everyone knows about Feng Shui and how it's being applied in Chinese metaphysics. Um, it's actually borrowing energy from the environment, knowing what it is and all that, and just using the right direction, location that aligns to your body energy for it. But before we go on to do that, why don't we clear the space for our work today, right, Debbie? So um, basically just use white light for this time. Let's imagine that around us is a white light, right, around us. So breathe in, right? Sit back, relax. Um, with your spine straight if you can. And imagine all this white light about, especially about 6 feet above, on top of us, gathering and becoming more dense and intense, flowing towards you and wrap around your whole body. And this is good white light. This breathe in this white light, breathe in to your body with deep breath to your nostrils and in. Imagine this white light from the space through your nostrils, going deep down into your body. Right? Just enjoy this flow of white energy from the universe into your body with the first deep breath and then out. With the second deep breath, clear even more, pushing this white light throughout your temple, throughout your body, right? From the top of your head all the way to your abdomen, to your legs, to your feet, out from your hands. In out. And take the third deep breath with this white light. Just clear everything out. And then out from your body, but it expands across the dimension where you are seated at. Across into your room and filling up the whole space that you are in your room. Expand slowly into the house with all this good vibrational energy, right? And when you're ready, just get back into our space. All right?
Well, that was great. All cleared.
Right.
All clear.
All clear. All right, I'm going to put up the slide. So it's about Feng Shui. And in Feng Shui, there are like 5 core energy zones that we usually think that you can break or make your life better. And hopefully everybody at least hear about what Feng Shui is. It's a direct translation from the Chinese. Feng as in wind and Shui as in water. So wind and water. So a lot of times we talk about this because it's the general environmental energy in the space that we live, right? And what are the 5 core areas that we look at in Chinese metaphysics in Feng Shui, right? So the main door of your house, the bed that you use, the stove where you prepare your meals, your work desk. And for folks, especially those who live in apartments of high rise, like duplex, that is like different story where other floors are occupied by other residents, then the balcony will be actually more important, right? So these are the five different areas that we usually focus on for feng shui. And so first is the door, right? Um, a lot of times, especially Chinese, right, we are very particular, like where the door is located, what direction it is facing. And so some of the aspects of the door, you can see the images here. I have the first one is really the size of the door. We look at the door, you will have to see if it's proportional to the size of the house. You will not want a door that is too small, right? When your house is really awfully big, but you have a little small door, because the main door of the house is considered the entryway of qi, right? Qi is energy. We talk about energy. So qi to come into the house and spread around the house and infiltrate to all the residents that are also living in the house. So you do not want the door is too small, but at the same time, you also do not want the door to be too big, right? Then it's not proportion, and it may too much. Anything that is too much is also no good, because in Chinese metaphysics we always emphasize about balance, the yin and yang, right? All about balance. So you want the door to be in proportionate in size overall to the house, the size of the house. Now, the state of the door, you want the door to be clean, right? A clean door with no like cobwebs, not broken, the knobs are working, the doorbell, is working properly. So a good door, and you don't want it to be blocked, right, by anything that the chi it will be stopped. So it obstruct the way of the energy flowing into your house. So you do not want like vines and too many plants around the house that hide the door away. And one of them is also clutter. You don't want clutter, like a lot of times, well, for convenience, especially um, some folks, right? They put a lot of like shoes, right? For when they get in and get out of the house, they have a lot of shoes, a lot of like they use that porch area in front, right in front of the front door, as a, like another storage, right? Basically, toys or whatever that they have, they just like leave it at the entry of the house. And sometimes these are no good because they form clutter and may even bring in bad energy to the house. And not only like I'm talking about in front of the house, even after you enter the door, the back, at the back of the door, it should be also be clear, right? Without any clutter. Um, And when you open the main door and look out, right, where you are standing, say you open the front door and you're standing, what do you see in front of you? What's the view, right, of that of that front view after when you open the front door, looking from the inside out? And you do not want sharp objects to be pointing directly to you. For example, in this case, I have used another house which might be at a different slightly different angle from the house from your house, and then part of the roof, part of the edge of the walls become like a blade, like an arrow pointing towards your own house. So that is not good. And also if the front of the front view have other like poor items, like for example, a lamppost is also considered not good. Lamppost, a pylon, or just anything that is will form this sharp energy pointing towards your house. Those is not good. And sometimes it's the tall tree, right? I think in a lot of rural areas, especially, they have the space and they plant a lot of trees. And over time, as the tree grows, it become a like a huge column right in front of your house, and it blocks the energy. And sometimes it's the way a designer probably design a house, and there's a porch, and then there's a column, a porch column that may be blocking your front door as well. So those are no good. And then, all right, and then the other one is about the T junction, right, where your front door is facing a road that is directly leading towards your main door, or it actually split, right? You're right at the corner of two roads that at the cross junction may split off. That is also not a very good energy because it's too sharp and erupt. And sometimes, especially in the Europe, I see a lot of examples of such houses where the door is lower than the level of the road, the pavement, right, the pathway. So it's downward. So the chi is like have to move downwards before it can reach the house, which is also considered as poor energy, right? So these are some of the examples of poor uh, energy for the main door of the house. And the next area is really the bed. So because our channel is really focused about health, about manifestation, so the bed is actually very, very important because in Chinese metaphysics, the bed is associated with health, right? And to a certain extent, also relationship. So for the bed, we do not want it to be positioned when you open the door, is right where you can see the bed because the energy is hitting right towards you if you are lying on the bed, right? Whether the bed is facing sideways or is right in front, after the door that you when you enter. And you also do not want any like large objects like ceiling fans or ceiling lights that is directly above the bed. Or sometimes the beams, right? Some of the designs, they have like wood beams on the ceiling, and they act as like a lot of pressure if you're lying on the bed. That this will act pressure to your body, to your head and everything when you're lying down. And in some houses, they have the air conditioner right at the headboard area, which is also no good because it's pressing energy, the bad energy down to your head. And you also do not want any competing energies like strong life force energy, like the aquarium, life plants, in the bedroom, right? Just beside your bed, very near to where you are resting. Um, and the mirror, in Chinese metaphysics, the mirror is like water body. So too much of the yang energy as well in the bedroom is no good. And not to also place the bed right underneath a window sill. Same concept about the um, same kind of bad energy pressing on on your head when you're sleeping. And of course, the last and not least is really like clutter. Don't use your bed as if it's like another big huge storage closet, for clothes, for books, and anything like that, right? So the bed is quite important. All right, the stove. Now the stove is also another big area. That's because stove is where you prepare meals, right, for yourself, for the whole family. In Chinese metaphysics, the direction and the facing of the location of the stove is rather important because fire, is an energy. It transforms, right? It brings in a lot of other transformative changes energy, and you want the right elements to be in that location to support a good, fire energy, but that does not damage in terms of your health. So for the stove, Therefore, it's best not to be in the wrong sector of the house, and the stove is not facing a poor direction, where it conflicts, especially with your health palace in your destiny chart. It has not to be like dirty, greasy. And after you cook and everything, try to keep it like really clean. And when I talk about the direction of the stove and all that, because usually in the kitchen, right, the stove will have a sink nearby. You do not want the sink, which is a water element, that is clashing directly with the stove, which is a fire element. So that is why never place a kitchen basin directly opposite the stove. And if you have the sink and the stove besides each other, then you have to put a wood element in between of it, right? Otherwise, there's some implication if there's no wood element to absorb the water um, before it goes transpired for the wood as an energy for fuel. Okay, and then your work desk, right? Your work desk definitely like relate to career or business, especially with work from home, has to be in a correct location as well. So working desk, not in the wrong sector of the house, and faces the wrong direction when you're seated. So the same principle applies where you don't want to be seated with your back towards the door. That means when you open the door, because the door will act as if like it's a blade, right? It cuts your back. So that is not good. It's best to have seated if your desk like placed such that you are seated facing the door, and of course, not to be cluttered, right? To be clean, keep a clean desk for your work. Balcony, I said this is more important, especially for folks who live in floor apartments that are shared with other residents that are not in the same family. So this is used as a secondary entry for energy for the house. So the same principle kind of apply when when you open the front door. It's best that the balcony is not the first view you see, because that means the energy is not be able to retain within the house and flow around the house and benefit the residents, because it actually go into the house but leave directly through the balcony, right? And not to have it like cluttered. A lot of folks use the balcony again like a secondary storage. And if you have plants there, make sure the plants are not dead, not withering, making sure that you dispose anything that is old and dusty, clean it up. And also try to avoid using the balcony as a drying area for clothes, because when you hang clothes, when you hang other big items, they actually block the energy from coming into the house. And same for viewing. When you open up the balcony or when you go to the balcony, what is the view that is right outside, right? Are you facing a river that is like flowing good energy with like animals and all that, instead of like a cluttered, dirty pond or lake that is not good energy? Or is the balcony overlooking like two buildings like that are close together? This is a bad energy because it forms again a cutting kind of energy into the house. Or is it facing some of the poorer items like the pylon in this case, or a big lamppost, or a highway? Sometimes houses, they can have a balcony that is overlooking a long highway, right, that cut across your view. So those are all considered as poor kind of placement of a balcony. All right, so that covers the five key areas. Again, the very simple things to do in Chinese metaphysics is really decluttering and keep clean. That's because a lot of times we don't have many choices, right? How your house is designed. When you buy the house, you may not have been aware of the feng shui and apply the principles and do all the different calculations. So the very basic things to do is really decluttering. Treat the house, imagine the house as a very big container. And if it is cluttered with a lot of big items, with old items, things that you don't actually use, they become blockages, right? They become blockages in the house, and they cannot then receive because they take up the space, and you don't have more space to receive good energy, right? Or you have very big furnitures that is not appropriate for the size of the house. You also like kind of become blockages, right, in the for energy in the house. So very basically, do always declutter and keep the house as clean as possible, because what you labor into the house, right, is actually transferred to energies for your body, for your health. So that's why it's important to make sure that the house is clean, whichever area that we're talking about here. Particularly pay attention, right, to the door, to the stove, to your work desk, to the bed, right? Okay. So this is just that. So any questions about these feng shui concepts so far?
I'm going to mention that I just did this at my house. And the energy is so different to have everything, out of the house, just like you said, Bill, the big, I gave away furniture, I gave away little things, the clutter out of the way. And just everything lightens up. It just seems brighter and better, and my mood happier as I walk in and things are gone and it's clean. I joyful. It really helps.
Right. Yeah,
I'm
it
gonna
does.
I'm gonna be watching this quite a few times because I really want to sit down. When you talked about the balcony, I was kind of smirking a little bit because I have on the second story of my house over the three-car garage and wrapping around the entire house is one giant balcony. And I don't do anything with it. And I go, thank goodness I wouldn't want to clear that out. It's probably one of the biggest balconies you could have. But I love where you said don't hang things out the balcony, and block that energy. All these little things I want to get more acquainted to. And I know some people have some knowledge of feng shui. This is really great start here. And I know there's a lot more that you can do if you really get into it, but we need to clear that energy. And I'm testifying it was just lighten my load to have that stuff gone.
Mhm. Right. So Marianne actually has a question and asks like, how do you plan when it's a rectangle with a square small at the door? Are you referring to the entry area where you just go into into your house? That area is too small? Are you saying that that area is very small? Yeah, all right. So sometimes in Chinese metaphysics, what we do is amplifying. When we want to amplify that space, we can actually have items on the wall. If you have a wall, I'm not too sure when you enter whether there's there's some wall that is right besides the door, where you can actually hang either a mirror, a small mirror, or any good item, a picture, for example, a picture that depicts movement, right? So to invite that good energy from outside through the door into the house, right?
I know that my friends had a mirror because you could just walk in and there was a wall and they had a mirror
Yeah.
that reflected. I don't have a place, but I did get a little tiny mirror and kind of set it up on a piece of furniture right there as you open the doors. So
Yeah.
I love that. Thank you, Marianne.
All right. And if you want to get a reading, you can email to services at ourjoyfulpathways.com. Okay.
That's
And
right.
because we need a lot more details, because in Chinese metaphysics, we have to have your floor plan. And if you want to even read about like how it's impacting the resident of the house, we also need the birth dates of the person, because it's not as just like a general kind of energy that is applied to the house, because we also need to look at the age of the house, like which period the house that you move in, and all that. So there's a lot more calculation, and not just a general reading in that sense. So let me add back this. So especially for the bed, like I said, since we want to focus on like health, so for the bed, making sure that it's not cluttered, it's always clean, free of bugs and and dust, and check if your bed is in your health palace, based on your chart, your destiny chart. And does the position of the bed benefit or harm you quietly? Because we spend hours, sleeping. So are you having restless nights, difficult sleeping, waking up, constantly, right, frequently during nighttime, where you're supposed to sleep and get rest, but you're not like rejuvenating yourself smoothly. So, are there any other items that add unnecessary electromagnetic fields into your space? Right. For example, TV, laptop, tablet, and phone, whether they are too near to where you want to actually have rest, and are there the items that you don't want, like mirror, aquarium, or life plants? All right. Oh, Marilyn has a question. Apartment was unintentionally made for a handicapped person. All right. So, yeah, so for apartment feng shui is very different from a single home feng shui, because for apartment, like I said, because there are other residents in the apartment, then sometimes when we practice feng shui, we want to be conscious about the energy for everyone in the building and not only yourself. I mean, even though you want to benefit yourself only, but you want to apply the principles such that it does not give harm to any other residents in the same building. All right, so it's slightly more complicated in terms of the calculation. Uh, okay, and so as usual, the disclaimer before we go into all our manifestation practices. We are not medical practitioners, so do take note that the principles are really about applying metaphysics, feng shui, 八字, and all that, and should be taken in tandem with any other medical advice from your medical practitioner. Okay,
Great.
and this one we have done it before, so I'm just going to skip it. All right, the collective energy for the rest of the days for the month before we enter into the equinox, for our practice. So the theme for this is nourishing the inner garden. All right, is finding the balance between watery sensitivity, because it is in water, and over earthly containment of the in earth, because earth does absorb the moisture and water element from around it, right? So it's really going nurturing, introspective, being grounded for the practice. And journaling is definitely one of the best practice in terms of collecting energy and aligning it. And so imagine all these emotional burdens dissolving into water if you're using the water, and but then discard this water outside the house into the ground. And the mantra you can use is I soften into myself, I allow my emotions to flow gently and nourish the sacred ground of my becoming. Okay? All
Very
right.
nice.
Okay.
Oh,
So that's the portion that I want to share with everyone about Feng Shui and the collective energy alignment that we can use for the rest of the days until we, go into a new month of August. And if there are no more questions, so Debbie, maybe to get a collective card for everyone.
I have one. So I've taken a collective card using Kyle Gray's Angels and Ancestors Oracle cards. I want to say artwork by Lily Moses. So let me show you that because we're so honored to use these very creative, wonderful illustrators and intuitive people. So today I have the Hermit card. And so the Hermit card is about retreat and to recharge. So this actually, to me, is a good day to do that because it's been so much going on. But I dawned on me with the warm time that we're having now. It's perfect time to really, rest, relax, and also get the noise gone around. And so to me, look inward, to take a moment for yourself and to maybe get away from the crazy stuff. Belle, do you have anything that resonates with the hermit?
Right, because it's actually really describes about the deepest part of the yin energy before it actually transits into the energy for the autumn month. So Hermit is definitely very appropriate in terms of like going retrospective, right? Going inwards, be that Hermit, right? Reflect what is nurturing for you and be grounded, right? And so that we are prepared for the next season that is coming up.
Even take just a little time to meditate.
Mm-hmm.
Just
That's
what Belle
great.
said. Within, take that moment for yourself. Um, um, Also, we are going to go into doing a crystal grid, which I love my crystal grids. So we're going to switch over to bringing the grid up. And full of quiet wisdom. Arcing below is a bridge of selenite. So here we have our selenite here, and it's kind of an arc above the celestite. Okay, I just saw myself and I was like, okay, here I am. Okay, with fluorite here is nestled in. So we have a little purple, a little green fluorite here going on. These are fluorite, but they're polished stones. So like a bridge we have going here. The fluorites nestled between each piece of selenite creates a graceful moon bows. So we're used to rainbows, right? So now we're going to have moon bows here. I like that. And they harmonize with the mind and the spirit. Now, I made something interesting here, but first let's go for the right here to the lepidite here and opalite. Now, I could have used moonstones here if I had them, but I didn't. So we can substitute our stones. So I have our opalite here, which is beautiful. But can you see in here, you guys, this little triangle here that I made? Okay, that's important too, because we placed a triangle from lipidite and opalite, which are stones of release and transition, forms a sacred space of flow and reflection. On either side of this triangle rests Amazonite. Here it is here, these two green stones, anchoring the emotional truths and supportive, gentle courage with its serene, almost like a seafoam strength. So we have this little sacred space here, this triangle. But on the center of it all, we have my emotional compass is aquamarine, so such a water type of stone. It's a pool of clarity and calm right there, aquamarine. Besides it, down here is very bold, big, very clear quartz. And that magnifies every intention and unifies the grid's energy like sunlight on water. So we always use that clear quartz as a booster on our grid. Now, each stone plays its role in this story, whispering wisdom, inviting softness, and encouraging the kind of growth that happens quietly, like beneath moonlit leaves. So the grid holds the spirit of the rabbit, by the way, sensitive, intuitive, and ever willing to leap when the moment feels right. Now let's talk about activating your grid. So once you have it done, and I'm using wood as the base since it's yin wood today, and I found something in my bag of tricks here. A fluorite, beautiful pointer here. We can use it as a wand, and it's fluorite. It's just gorgeous. More grays in this and some blue and purple. So if you want to connect your grid and, kind of put it all together and seal it and all of that, you can use a clear quartz, wand or something like this, which is fluorite, which goes with these stones. In this grid, we would start with the celestite and we would go down to our bridge and we can connect this really well like this. But then we want to go back to the lepidite and go kind of seal our triangle. And I'm using clockwise, by the way, here. And then over to the Amazonite, aquamarine, and then go to our crystal quartz. Now, we put a little bit of energy here into your crystal quartz as your boosting stone. And there you go. You've got it. Now to seal it, we take our wand over our grid and we hold it as long as you want to hold it. And envision a seal going over it of energy and then the energy going outward. Okay. And then that is sealing. But we want to hold our wand and also do an affirmation, on it. So let me tell I would probably hold the wand and I'll go ahead and do it. So let truth be spoken kindly. Let intuition guide softly. Let growth unfold gently beneath the light of clarity. There we go. And as any time that you want to enjoy your grids, just go back to them. Take a wand, and go ahead and put it all together. Connect all the dots and refresh the energy out. And you can keep grids for as long as you want. So anyway, that is our grid for today. Yin water over yin wood rabbit. And that was a lot of fun. I love that. So we're going to go ahead and bring that down. There we are. That was a lot of fun. We want to actually tell everybody to reminder to subscribe to our Joyful Pathways. We are on Facebook and we're also on YouTube. We would love to get your comments. Please go ahead and write to us. And that was services at ourjoyfulpathways.com, correct?
Yes. And for those who have like more questions about like decluttering, like how to what are considered as poor energy and so on. So anything that you have actually kept, like the saying goes, right? Anything out of sight for more than a year that you don't use, you can probably discard away. donate it away or
Mhm,
something. Things that
mhm.
you don't use for a long time. And look at the space as well, right? Start small. Start small. You don't have to be adventurous and turn over the whole house.
Yeah.
Start small in a space that you use very often. For example, a bedroom, right? That you use very often. Then start with that bedroom first. Just evaluate and audit what are the things that are in that bedroom, right? What are the things that are not aligning? I mean, sometimes like your own common sense and intuition will actually guide you as well, right? What the items are, how the bed is, and if you're using that space very often, how do you feel, right? How do you feel whenever you are in that space? Do you feel anxious? Do you feel tired? Whenever you're there you feel lost, so that calls out for like poor energy. So then do something about it, right? Is it the window panes or in that bedroom is not clean, is filled with like dust and with all water and rain marks and so on, and you can't, when you look out the window, you can't see whatever that is outside, right? So that then you're not inviting the good energy into the house even through your window, right? So start small. Um, Anything to add on, Debbie?
Yeah,
I know that because
I
recently you did a lot of decluttering.
I did. But what I wanted to say is, so do if you are into the crystals and all of that, do make a grid. Do put something together, and it doesn't have to be. I know for me, when I go to do a grid, and I mean, I have a lot of stones, people. But when you go, oh, I wish I had five more of those, or this or that, or I don't have that. I really wish I did. Well, manifest to get it, but nonetheless, put your stones out. Set a great intention, an affirmation on it, and re-energize it once a week, and enjoy that, and help boosting up your energy in the room. And it can be only one stone if you want. If you have
Yes.
one stone, put one stone out.
It's
And
always,
enjoy
yeah,
that.
it's always about the focus intention. When you gather all your energy
Yeah.
and you focus on it, even a single piece of stone, it,
Hmm.
it will work for you. And
That's what I say
especially if
all the
you
time.
right. And when you align it, even like with your feng shui location, put the grid in the right element space. What was the intention that is called for? Because in feng shui, right, different sector kind of like represent different areas of your life, whether it's health, relationship, career, and so on and so forth. So when it's all these are aligned with a very focused energy, manifestation does happen.
Can
Yep.
I ask you a question, Belle? Before
Yeah.
people start this, is it a good thing for them to clear their space, or, state their intention or anything like that?
Yes, definitely. So, for myself personally, if you are decluttering your own body first, because you yourself as a body vessel need to receive energy. You clear your own body energy first. So, done through a different methods I shared before. You can even do a foot soak, right? Soak your feet in a clear bucket of water with Epsom salt. You can do that. And if it's for the house, you want to clear, energy for the house, you can either do saging, or for me, if it's really very, very bad energy, I actually sprinkle the on the floor sea salt. I sprinkle it and then I leave it overnight. And then the next day, I sweep them away or vacuum them away and throw them out, because it will have absorbed all the negative energy before you want to place any like new good items and that is energized with your good intention into it. One of the other ones that you can use, like something is clothes. I know that people actually tried this. They put sea salt, they add a little bit of sea salt into their laundry before they wash the clothes. I'm not
Right.
sure that one works because I've not tried that one though. I've not
As
tried
long as
that.
it doesn't hurt the pipes and they put a whole bunch in. But we
No,
always,
not
when
too
we
much.
use salt, can
Yeah.
just be a pinch. Okay.
It's not about the quantity. It's really about the
Right.
intention that you set in,
Yes, it
right?
is.
So
Yeah.
that would be the focus. Not like, the whole bunch, like the whole place a lot of crystals. I've seen people doing that, which is no good because crystals has their own energy. You don't want any conflicting energy as well. Too many is no good. Again, it's always about balance, right? Balance. Too little or too much. We
Yeah.
always want to strike, a balance in between.
When it comes to crystal grids, and I have a lot of sources, and I have a wonderful book that I bought, the Book of Stones, and we'll probably maybe start putting affiliate links in for you guys if you're interested in seeing what we use and what we recommend in the future. But crystal grids, good thing, put them in, and feng shui, wonderful. And this was so informative for me personally today. And I thank you, Belle, for all that experience and knowledge that you have.
Right? Yes. Only once you like clear, and then you can then have a clean, open, capacity to receive more good energy.
Ah,
That's the intention for clearing.
that's
All
wonderful.
right.
I have a blessing unless there's anything else you have to add.
No, I
You're
think
good?
we are all ready. Yeah, I don't see any more questions from the chat, so we can go on to close
Okay.
it with a blessings for the day.
Okay. Okay, everyone. Just to get our good energy and all of that, I love to do some kind of blessing. So today it's may your thoughts flow like moonlit waters, gentle, wise, and endlessly clear. May your dreams take root in kindness, growing with the patience of whispering trees. Let the rabbit guide you softly today with quiet leaps toward wonder and growth. And may the stories you tell bloom like wildflowers after rain, nurturing, magical, and full of light. Until we meet again, walk gently, speak truthfully, and feel deeply. There you go.
Yeah. Well, remember to like and subscribe to our channel. Thank you so much. And I'm going to close this with our song. Thank you,
Great.
everybody.
Bye.
Fluid and mystic, the in water flows, an enigmatic charm, its essence shows. Intuitive whispers The in-water day, serene and deep, its magic touches heart.